I'm Tamar Ziegler. I'm the chair of the Institute of Mathematics at HUJI University. I'm honored to be here with Professor Hillel Furstenberg, a recent laureate of the Abel Prize, which is the equivalent of the Nobel Prize in Mathematics. The Einstein Institute is blessed with extraordinary researchers and is recognized as one of the strongest math institutes in the world. And I thought maybe we would start at the beginning. Maybe I'll ask you when you first started becoming interested in mathematics.
And I owe my mathematical career to my sister, who was 3 years older than I was. And so when we were learning addition in school, she taught me multiplication. And when we were learning multiplication, she taught me algebra. So I was always ahead of my class. And when you're ahead of your class, you get interested in the subject, or you feel good about it, you feel comfortable with it, and you have challenges. So you have to prove theorems, solve problems, and there's room for originality. You can do things your way, and so I enjoyed that, and I saw that I was enjoying it. And I also like to say it's a good exercise to fail in something in mathematics. You realize that you don't always succeed, and you don't have to succeed all the time. If you succeed all the time, that means it's too easy and not worth the effort. And my high school was a yeshiva high school, in which people are preparing for the rabbinate. I actually would have become a rabbi, except that at the end of the college years, there was a decision at the yeshiva university that somebody who wanted to become a rabbi could only study things related to the rabbinate. I had to make a decision, either Princeton or either some graduate school in mathematics or the rabbinate, and I chose right.
Oh, lucky for us.
Yeah. And,
so, any regrets about the path not chosen?
Not at all.
In 1965, you were married with 2 children and decided to come to Israel, make Aliyah. And
I had no plans originally to come to Israel. In fact, I was not a Zionist. And I was actually in a youth organization that was anti-Zionist, you might say, Agudat Yisrael. After I met my wife, and she had spent a very successful year here in Israel after high school in a program, and she wanted very much to come back to live in Israel. And so when I proposed to her, she made it pretty clear that it was okay, but we have to come to Israel.
So maybe, can you say something, do you remember, some things about your first years here?
On my way to Israel, we stopped off in France. In Paris, I met Izzy Katznelson. Oh. And I remember one of the things Izzy told me was that he encouraged me to come to Israel, but he said, but you have to be willing to be forgiving when you come to Israel. And so the first thing I noticed when spending my first year that I didn't find anything I had to be forgiving about. At any rate, just the friendliness of people here. And then there were the students, and the students were clearly better than the undergraduates, I should say, were clearly better than the undergraduates I had known in the United States. Good students that you can talk to, that you can lecture to, that's a very important thing even for a research mathematician. And that's one of the things about the department. I mean, even the good undergraduate students raise the level of the teaching. So
a couple of years after you came, Benji Weiss also came, and
right.
Together with Izzy, you initiated what we now call the Jerusalem School of Dynamics. I think what makes Jerusalem the best place to study dynamics. Can you tell me something about this year and how it influenced your mathematics?
It was an excellent opportunity to devote oneself to research. Anything we wanted to know, there was somebody there who could answer.
I personally really love the Einstein Institute, but what do you think makes it special?
Well, altogether that the department has been successful is partly because of an insistence on excellence, both on the part of students and a part of faculty.
You know, the way I view it is that the founding fathers, to which I put you in, were all, there were great mathematicians here that were all working in a very,
there's no good English
word. Or very good atmosphere, very good working atmosphere.
Oh, yeah. I see that as sort of negative of the negative. What happens in many departments, and people is that there's criticism. Oh, what you're doing is not interesting. It's not important. That's absent here. We don't have that. And there's the warmth, the mutual respect, and which makes it pleasant to work, and that certainly helps.
So what would you advise, like a beginning mathematician?
Well, there's good advice which works for many things, is do what you want to do. In other words, follow the things that attract you. And the trouble with mathematics problems is that if it's easy, then it's not worth pursuing. And if it's hard, you're gambling. You're gambling. You're going to be spending time on something which won't lead anywhere. Unless you make an effort to be different from other people, you're going to be like everybody else.
That's a lesson for life, you're saying. What do you see for the future of the Einstein Institute? Your vision for the future, or what you wish for us for the future? And
oh, I hope to have continued success and getting good people to come to visit, and that's a good prescription for further success, especially getting visitors of all kinds to come and building up more fields that within the department. Well, we say from Kimitzion Tetzeh Torah, that learning comes out of Tzion, comes out of Zion, and the fact that mathematics is coming out of Zion is a nice thing.